So now the Justin Liberals have introduced legislation to censor the internet. Under this legislation, the CRTC would be able to review everything and knock it off if it didn't like it. Dan McTeague is a former Liberal member of Parliament. Maybe he understands those Liberals, because I want to put it to you, why do they think that they need to censor, have people in Ottawa and everywhere around censoring what goes onto the internet?
They don't like your show, Stephen. That's what it comes down to. I mean, the reality is that they don't like
Justin doesn't like my show.
Well, Justin may not like your show, but I think a lot of them are pretty much in the same league. They will use any excuse they can to shut down, to deplatform, to ensure that the people who have legitimate beefs and concerns don't have the opportunity to express those. This is far more serious than just, censorship. This is really about government saying, we want to control the agenda, we want to control what you think, and if we don't like what you think, we're going to shut you down.
It sounds like China. China controls the internet, and the whole Chinese population has no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. So, I mean, if Canada follows this, then there will be no independent press, no independent information.
No, Politburo basically calls the shots. TASS, Izvestia, call it what you want. You will have very little in the way of alternative thoughts, ideas that might come out that are not conventional and perhaps not accepted by the norm. But this is about creating and controlling the message. And it's very scary because for many people, it doesn't just bring up what we see in communist countries like China. Right. It also brings images of 1984. We all see this sort of Orwellian move by the state, by the government to control people, to control what they think, how they respond, how they react. To me, I think it's un-Canadian. And I think for a lot of people, I would want to hear from the opposition parties beating up on this government dramatically.
Well, but this legislation went through a committee, Liberal government, still a minority government, and the Conservatives opposed it. The NDP are in cahoots. They've been bought off by the Liberals. So, I mean, this could get through unless people rise up and say, you know what, enough of this. It's almost like book burning.
Well, the idea with being progressive is that the worst thing you can have is people turning around and suddenly deciding that you're not progressive enough. And if
what
the
is
NDP
woke
doesn't get on
what
this,
is not woke?
It was woke, or to woke or not to woke. The concern I think we should all share is that this is a significant infringement on our ability to think and to learn and to express. And if you lose those things, forget the Charter of Rights, forget all the freedoms and fundamental rights that we've fought for over the years in this country. It's all going to be controlled by one particular agency and organization. To me, that's a very dangerous step.
And well, I mean, our bureaucrats are unelected, so accountability is going to go out the window as well. We already have real problems with holding the government to account, and it's just going to get worse.
It is, and mainstream media doesn't seem to be cluing in on this. I think there certainly is a groundswell of support. People are realizing what this government is really trying to do. It's been caught in a number of controversies. It wants to control those controversies, and right now we're at a bit of a point of inflection. Either we're going to stop this government, stop this legislation, or we're going to wind up in a place we don't want to be.
I hope we're talking about this and keep it on. Thanks very much, Dan.
Thanks, David.
3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, and we will only work from the facts, quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.